Aberdeen went down by 2 goals to 1 at Tynecastle yesterday, which means it's only 3 wins from 21 there. Hearts have won the last 3 against the Dons now on home turf. It means this: with only 2 games to go, we remain third and in the driving seat, but the gap is now down to only 2 points. Next up for the Dons, St Mirren at home on Wednesday night. At the same time, Rangers host Hearts at Ibrox. We then go to Celtic Park on Saturday to play Celtic in the early kickoff. The same day, it's the Edinburgh Derby. Hi everybody, a very good evening. Welcome to Ali Beg ABTV this Sunday night here on YouTube. How are you doing? So this is the review show, and we're going to be looking back on yesterday's disappointing defeat in Edinburgh against Hearts. This is your chance to have your say. I'll have my tuppence this evening as well, but the show is all about you. So I've got nothing planned, no interviews, nothing like that. I thought it would be important to open the floor to you, the fans, to have your say here on YouTube. It's the normal means, but if you are watching for the very first time, how you doing? You're more than welcome. If you do want to participate, all you have to do is under the main video on YouTube, there's a comment section. Leave your comments in there. Feel free to interact with all of those who also comment as well, but please don't use bad language. Be respectful to those that come on. Just have your say, and I'll do my very best tonight to read out your comments as we go along. We do have a couple of bits and pieces, but I do want to leave it open to you guys. So after what I thought was quite a bright start by us, I thought we started the game really well. Pressed them high up the pitch, forced them into some errors. I thought we were doing okay. But then they started to sort of get a foothold in the game. When we took the lead, it was fantastic. And I thought to myself, do you know what? We could cause an upset here. And we defended again, we've been saying it for weeks now, haven't we? Just how well the back three have played together. Now, considering that Angus MacDonald wasn't well, I thought, again, him, Liam Scales and Matty Pollock and Kelly Roos were absolutely outstanding. Let's just remind ourselves of the team that started, because Barry was forced into making 3 changes. So Connor Barron, Marley Watkins and Jayden Richardson came in for Ryan Duncan, Hayden Coulson, who was a late injury call-off, and obviously Duke, who was not match fit. So he was forced into the changes. He said after the game, "We're a totally different team from when we were down here last time. And if we get those players back to add to what we had today, that will be really positive. We are 2 points ahead of Hearts, 2 games to go, 3 top players to come back. It's a very different position to what it was just 3 months ago." Now, he's absolutely right. And he's only taking the positives from the game. And I absolutely agree with him. But unfortunately, yesterday, I just felt that our lack of strength and depth really showed. And, there's a lot of talk about Darren Mowbray leaving the club, head of recruitment. I understand that the football club have already started putting plans in place for that, and it won't affect the football club at all. But unfortunately, and I don't mean to speak out of turn, and I don't mean to be disrespectful, but the players that came in yesterday struggled big time. And it was a real concern for me. So, yeah, that was a big issue. Because, as I said, we started the game well, but I felt that they were really threatening down our flanks. And every time they got down our flanks, they just looked dangerous. And, at one point, I'm watching the game from behind my sofa. I was getting that nervous. And I found a stat here. I'll bring you the more stats a little bit later, but Hearts had 30 shots in total. 30. 20 of which, get this, were inside our box. 20. Now that to me suggests that we did not do anywhere near good enough when it came to protecting our back line. So I felt Hilber was off the pace yesterday. I thought Connor was way off the pace yesterday. I can forgive Connor to a degree because he's not had much time on the park, if any at all. Very difficult for him to come in. But I just felt Hilber looked leggy yesterday. Again, just, you can agree or disagree. You can let me know what you think. Let me actually bring you the stats because it's a little bit concerning, I got to be honest. Let's just have a wee look, particularly because of where we're going into against a St Mirren team that we must not underestimate. So let's have a look. So 61% of possession for the home team to our 39. As I said, 30 shots for them. We only had 9. They had 8 on target. We only had 4. 15 fouls committed to their 6. We only won 2 corners in the game to their 5. So, again, you can read whatever you want into these stats. But, yeah, I just think they were very dominant yesterday. And I have to be honest, when the team came out, it made me nervous. It did make me nervous. And I thought, okay, if we can get away with a point here today, then we've done very well. But casting that all aside, we have to take our medicine. We always knew it was going to be a really, really difficult game. And now we move to the next game, which thankfully has come around very quickly. And if Barry is right in sort of what he hinted about yesterday in his post-match interview, particularly with Rob McLean on Red TV, we'll have Duke back, we'll have Ross McCrory back, and we'll have Graham Shinney back, who are 3 massive players for us. So the whole dynamic of the team will completely change on Wednesday night. So obviously, for us to finish third, a win coupled with Rangers beating Hearts at Ibrox, then we secure third spot. So, before we do the rest of the show, where I bring you the other bits and pieces, let me open it up to you to see how you're doing and see how you're feeling after yesterday's game. Okay. Right. Scott W. Hi, Scott. How you doing? He says, good evening, everybody. Hope you're not too disappointed at yesterday's result. We're still in the driving seat. Exactly. And this is where, we have to take the positives. And again, Barry keeps reiterating it. He keeps reminding us, don't forget where we were just a few months ago to where we are now. 2 games to go, in third place, 2 points clear, still in the driving seat. He's right. He's absolutely right. Can't be bothered has said... Whoa, sorry. Ali, remember to turn down the volume, you big dafty. Okay, Laura 101 has said, it's still in our own hands. That's the main thing. Exactly. Scott W, at the end of the day, a win against St Mirren should be plenty. Will Hearts beat Rangers? Doubtful. Rangers will want to end the season strong. They will. Can't be bothered has said, it's not the end of the world, but it will mean just... yet again, our nearest rivals end up with a major cash injection. Scott W said, we'll still get a major cash injection for the Conference League. But don't forget, because there are so many permutations, we need Celtic to win the Scottish Cup, first and foremost, if we finish third, to be able to go into that Europa League qualifier. If we don't get into the Europa League, then we obviously drop down into the Conference League. So we'll be in the Conference League up until Christmas. If we finish 4th, then we go into the playoff for the Conference League. So that's how it is. Laura 101 said, hopefully Shinnie being back in the team on Wednesday gives them a boot up the bum they need to put in a 90-minute performance. Scott W has said, we have to be honest and say we haven't played well for a while. Even against Ross County, we were poor. Against Rangers, we were poor. Difference is, we were winning games. Now we've lost 2 out of 3. Yeah, so we've not won in, 4 now? Yeah. John Grant's here. Hi, John. How you doing? We're still in an excellent position. Win and we take third. Hopefully, the 3 players can return as we are way short of bodies who are match fit. Scott W said, the 3 players are returning on Wednesday. Robson confirmed that yesterday. Okay, that's great news. Can't be bothered. What I'm saying is that if Celtic beat Cali Thistle, the 3rd place team is guaranteed up to 5 million. 4th is guaranteed 0. No, you're quite right. You're absolutely quite right. Kaiser's on. He's wishing everybody a good evening. Hi, Kaiser. How are you, fella? Law F 1903. A win should suffice. However, we need our 3 missing players back. Strength and depth is shocking. It is. It really is. You know, I was starting to get a little bit frustrated yesterday. You know, again, I don't mean to speak out of turn, but Shaden Morris was doing my nutting yesterday. You know, there was one point in the second half when we were 2-1 down and he was making a beeline into the box and he had 2 defenders in front of him. And he did that thing where he dragged the ball. He dragged his studs over the ball. And lost control of the ball. And honestly, I lost the plot. Because in that situation, just keep the ball under control and look for a simple pass. If a pass is not on, just keep possession. And if that means you've got to turn and come out to regroup and go again, then so be it. But to do that sort of, you know, party piece Charlie at that time in the game, yeah, there was a couple of obscenities shouted. Sorry, Shaden. Matthew Cool has said, evening, disappointing result yesterday, but onwards to Pataudry. Transmission GGB has said, yo, Reds, yo, back. Gregor Stevens, disappointing yesterday, too much football. With a player like Clarkson, who'd tell him to hoof it as well, yeah, again. You know, I said it yesterday on the Big Saturday Football Show. I was getting frustrated with Leighton a little bit, just always looking for this Hollywood pass. I take my hat off to him because I thought he put in a shift yesterday. You know, that clearance off the line in the second half was, my God, it was simply outstanding. But I felt he was so deep. At one point, after Angus went off, I was like, I'm confused here. Is he our last man here or something? He was far, far too deep. And the gap, again, between defence and midfield and attack, was gaping, absolutely gaping. And these are the things that we need to work on, I think. Okay, Scott W. said, we're still in control. Nothing has changed. Don't allow the negativity to creep in. I agree. We have to stay positive. Absolutely, I agree. Kaiser said, we're not half making hard work of this 3rd position. Transmission GGB has said, St Mirren game looks a tough one now. It will be. You know, we're all going to be really nervous ahead of that game. Absolutely, no danger we will. Gordon Keith Ritchie, hi Gordon. If you said we would be 2 points ahead of Hearts with 2 games, we would have all taken that. I completely agree. Kaiser, how can we go down to Tynecastle and give them a game? The stats was like something from a game at Parkhead. Yeah. Unfortunately, whether we like it or not, they did dominate us yesterday. Suze has said, evening all, disappointing for sure, but it's still in our hands. Confident for Wednesday, she's feeling. Hayden Ritchie has said, regardless what happens, 3rd or 4th is still a cracking finish when you look at where we could have been. Come on, you Reds, let's finish 3rd. Yeah. Transmission GGB. The game started perfectly. Got a goal, and I thought we'd get a draw at worst after that. Excuse me. Nicola Beaton's here. Hi, Nicola. She's wishing everyone a good evening. I think the depth of the squad was exposed yesterday, she says. I was pleased how well Watkins played. Such a big game on Wednesday now. Hoping Rangers can do us a favour too. Yeah, God. Who thought we would be saying that? Actually, to be fair to Marley, I thought Marley played well yesterday. I thought Bojan was off it again. Again, I said yesterday, when he went through and he had a chance, I know he had defenders on his shoulders, I just felt, I don't know, I'm always in fear of speaking out of turn, but I just felt he went down far too easily, where I felt if he just kept totally focused, I think he would have scored. But I think because he had those players on his shoulders, I don't know, I just think he's a little bit off the boil at the moment. But let's see how it goes. Let's see how it goes on Wednesday. Kaiser said, we rode our luck against Hibs and we were... I can't read that. Okay, understood. Sitting far too deep, relying on last-ditch stuff. Yeah, we were too deep yesterday. Scott W. said, one thing I will say is Hayes should be nowhere near a starting berth come next season. He makes the same mistakes week after week, that being trying to usher the ball out and getting caught out. So my problem with Johnny yesterday was I just felt, first and foremost, he got booked in the first 5 minutes? And I felt, I understood why he made the challenge, but I think, if you go to ground in the manner that he did in the modern game, you are asking to be booked. And I'm just wondering if that played on his mind for the rest of the game. But again, the problem was yesterday we needed all our big-time players to have a 10 out of 10 performance, and our big-time players were nowhere near it, unfortunately. And those fringe players that came in, we needed a solid 7 out of 10 performance from them yesterday because they haven't had game time. So I wasn't expecting 10 out of 10 performances. But again, unfortunately, nowhere near it. Okay. Transmission GGB has said, yep, that's 4-game ban on Shinnie. That really hurt us big time along with the injuries. Kaiser has asked, how is Morris getting a game? Surely even Kennedy would be better. I did think that. Can't be bothered. Old habits die hard. Too many of these players starting to play like they did under Goodwin. Yeah, we've got to be slightly careful. I take your point with that. Scott W, is that not the first time Rama has been subbed this season? I'm sure he's played every minute of every game. I think you're actually right. That's a very good point. Transmission GGB said, Hearts played better than the 5-0 game and VAR was rubbish again. You see, you could sense Barry's frustration because we were getting nothing from the officials yesterday. Nothing. At one point, I slumped on my seat with my head in my hands thinking, are we going to get a decision today? Nothing went our way. Okay, so let's just bring you some more bits and pieces before we get back to your comments. So let's bring this in. Just got a couple of things. Just bear with me while I actually grab them for you. Now, on Wednesday, we're going to do a little bit of an experiment here on ABTV, which I'll bring you in just a second. So, first of all, you know how much the history of the football club means to me. So, let's remind ourselves what happened on this day in the club's history. So, back in 1983, 40 years ago today, 10 days after winning the Cup Winners' Cup, Aberdeen win the Scottish Cup for a second successive year after beating Rangers 1-0 after extra time at Hampden. Eric Black with the winning goal. And who will now ever I'm laughing as I say it. The rant from Sir Alex after the game. Oh, dearie me. 1995. Aberdeen take a huge step towards retaining their Scottish Premier League status by beating Dunfermline Athletic 3-1 in a league playoff. Duncan Shearer with a brace and Stephen Glass with the goals set us perfectly up for the return leg. And in 2015, Aberdeen legend Jim Leighton leaves the club for the last time. He had served the club for a total of 27 years as both a player and as a goalkeeper coach in 2 different spells. Okay, so Wednesday night. This is what I'm thinking about doing. So this is going to be basically a test show for next season. I'm going to do what is called a watch-along show. So because the game is not being televised, I thought what we could do is basically grab the community that come here on a regular basis and we could basically all watch the game together on YouTube. So what I'll do is I'll stick the game on. I'm not going to commentate because I'm not a commentator, but all I will basically do is watch the game. No doubt you guys will have the game on as well, and we'll just watch it together, and you guys can leave your comments and I'll read them out, and I won't commentate, but I'll sort of talk us through the game. Let's put it that way. We'll do a bit of a half-time show. And then I thought what we could maybe do as well is just do a quick post-show, but I would prefer to go to full-time, say goodbye, and then we can do the review show properly on Thursday night. So what I'm thinking is, that we just all come together on YouTube and we just all watch it together. Because I know some of you won't be able to get access to the game. So if you're looking to do something completely different with a community of fans, then yeah, it's just an idea. It's just an idea that I thought might work. I don't know. We'll experiment, see how it goes. Okay, let's get back to your comments. Sugarland is on. How you doing? Shinny and hopefully McCrory, and also Duke back. How many games have St Mirren won recently? And he's saying chill Pilgrims. Yeah, look, I'm a little bit worried I'm being a little bit negative tonight because I don't like being negative. I just think it's a little bit of squeaky bum time. So I hope I'm not coming across as being too overly negative because, look, we are in the driving seat, you know, and it is still ours to absolutely throw away. I just hope we can finish the job on Wednesday night. That's all I'm hoping. Transmission GGB said, yeah, those three are a welcome boost. Scott W say, it's unfair to pop at Morris. He's not played all season. Remember, Hayes was hopeless the first season, and Harvey was here originally. All he had was pace. It took him a while to settle. Yeah, I'm not having a pop at him. I just wish sometimes the decision making during the game was an awful lot better. And I just think doing party piece Charlie tricks at a crucial stage in the game is not what we needed. So it's not a pop. I'll tell you what it is. It's constructive criticism. Kaiser said, I can see Hearts beating that lot. Oh, really hope not. Hayden Ritchie said, the second string is not good enough. Barry's got his work cut out. I'm confident he'll get them into shape. I am too. John Grant's just reminding us all a win and Hearts have to beat Sevco. Transmission GGB, yep, 2 points clear with a possibility of wrapping it up on Wednesday. Yeah, it's good to see a lot of us are staying positive, which is great. Transmission GGB makes a good point. He says, I thought we did not too bad against the Rangers, but the other games have been awful. Yeah, unfortunately, you know, we didn't play well against Hearts. And up to a point yesterday, we also didn't play well. I thought we were very poor in the second half, unfortunately, yesterday. Transmission GGB saying, let it out, Ali, let it out. Sugarland said, Hibs versus Rangers, 30 fouls, 3 yellows, and all well after plus 20 fouls. Aberdeen v Hibs, we get 4 yellows in 15 fouls. Every early bookings to send us a message. Yeah. I'm not getting into it, fella. I'm really not getting into it. Sugarland is saying, let's be positive for Wednesday. We work as hard as St Mirren, and with the captain coming back, Ramadani will be a better set. Yeah. How are we doing for time? Okay, nearly 25 minutes. It's great to see so many of you on again tonight. Absolutely brilliant. And lots and lots of comments coming in. So we'll just keep going. There's no time restriction tonight. David Gold has said, Tynecastle is always a tough venue. Hearts have had a decent season. I think if Shinny, McCrory and Duke had been involved, it may have been different. I agree with that. David Gold has said, watch Hearts get a penalty on Wednesday. How do 1% govern 99% is on? How you doing? Miovski had a chance to shoot, possibly to score. He chose to dive. So, yeah, this is what I was talking about. Now, I don't think he chose to dive. I just think he chose to go down. Is that the same as a dive? I just wish he'd taken the better option, which I think was to have a go at goal. Christopher Mainland's here. Hi, Christopher. I agree with Nicola. We are showing a lack of depth in the squad when key players are unavailable, although tougher players to come in when they haven't had much game time. Yeah, it is. Nicola Beaton is reminding you all to hit the old like button. And don't forget to subscribe as well if you enjoy. Right, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. Oh, fucking hell.